And now you know where that music is from. Yes, so the intro music was from this, Violent Storm, the third in the Crime Fighter series. So yes, welcome to the RetroTech 120p challenge. This is a beat 'em up, as you can see, and if you want to join in with this, please go to the Facebook group, which is the RetroTech 100 group. Sign up if you're not a member already. Don't worry, there's no fees. There's no running fees you have to pay to talk about old games. And then if you should find the arcade challenge on the page. What you would do then is you would record your run. You can have as many practice runs as you want. I didn't have any practice runs with this because I've played it before, but we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, you can have as many practice runs as you like, and once you're satisfied that you're going to be King Swinging D of Violent Storm, then what you can do is you can hit record on the chosen video recording software on your computer, be it QuickTime, be it some more I don't know, whatever software you've got really. Record it, something like that, and then once you've recorded your run, however long that might take, it could be a quick go you have or a long one. Once you've finished, stop the record button, upload your video onto the group, and then what you can get to do is you get to choose the game we play next. It goes on a wheel, and if your game comes out, then we will play your game next week. Could it be another scrolling beat 'em up? It won't be, unfortunately, any other Crime Fighters games, because now with this we've done them all. We've done all 3 Crime Fighters games. But yeah, it's a good fun, and why don't you enjoy yourself once in a while, you miserable git? So yes, this, as I say, is the third in the Crime Fighters series, the second one being Vendetta, the first one being Crime Fighters. It is a lot easier than especially the first one. The first one is brutal, but this one's nice and fun. It's got much bigger sprites than the other two. Then they are connected in the fact they're scrolling beat 'em ups by Konami, but they're not actually connected, I don't think, in any storyline way. The first one was just like some cops who were basically the same character in different trousers. The second one had like late 80s, early 90s action stars, but like little versions of them in Vendetta. So you had like Hulk Hogan, Mr. T, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and I think he was supposed to be Mike Tyson. And then in this one, it's sort of like a Mad Max thing. It's a post-apocalyptic world, and you've got to try and rescue your woman friend. I don't know if any of them are courting the young lady, but you've got to try and save your woman friend from this big fella who looks like Blanca. That wall looks like it's going to break, doesn't it? Oh, yes, it does. But yes, the intro music was the character select music from this game. So if you've been wondering where that music is and why it sounds really Konami, it's because it is really Konami, and it's from this game. Yeah, so this is, as you can see, the sprites are much bigger than the other two, if you're familiar with the other two. Final Fight-esque, I think they've been inspired by. But yeah, there's 3 different characters you can select. Very similar to Final Fight in that regard, because there's like a strong wrestler type. There's this guy who's like your generic middle dude. Going for the double denim there, which is a bold step. You have to be very confident. He pulls it off with his late 90s Beckham hair, but you know, not many of us can. If you're a middle-aged man and you're wearing double denim, you probably are being judged. But I'm no fashionista, what do I know? So yeah, how am I so familiar with this game? I'm not very good at it, but I am familiar with the game. Basically, I have covered all 3 of the games in the series. I did the second one first. I think it was like the 3rd or 4th game I did on the channel 4 years ago. Then I covered the second one, the first one rather, which is Crime Fighters, and then I got around to doing this one, Violent Storm, which I didn't know was part of the series until a bit later on. About 2-3 years ago, and then I did a compilation of all 3. There will be links at the end to both the this video I did on this one, and if you want to watch the video of all 3, I'll put a link to the compilation I did where I talk about all 3 games. I'm going into as much detail as I can. You don't expect Slope's Game Room or Kim Justice levels of information. Yeah, it's a nice 30-minute long video I did on all 3. Big compilation. Because they're sort of this series, the Crime Fight series, is the forgotten one. I think we always think of like Streets of Rage. We think about Final Fight and other arcade games. I know Streets of Rage wasn't an arcade game really, unless you talk about the Mega Play. But other Streets of Rage style games would be like things like Turtles, Bike and Army, or like Aliens vs Predator or Punisher by Capcom. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, that kind of thing. But no one ever really goes into depth about or talks about this series, and I was really familiar with the first 2 growing up. I saw them in like a pub and a video shop respectively. I remember playing the Crime Fighters game in my local flat roof pub. We all know a flat roof pub, don't we? More holes than dartboard and pretty big Brexit voting membership, and that kind of thing. And then in terms of the other one, it was in the local video shop. When you used to have video shops, so you always used to have an arcade game in them, didn't they? My one had WrestleFest, then got rid of it for Vendetta, and I wasn't that sad about it because I love Vendetta as well, and I can still be Hulk Hogan. Hey, favourite one of the 3 is Vendetta, but this one I think is a very close second. It's not too bad, and there's this bit which is absolutely mortifying because you can pick up a baby pig and turn it into an American football in your hand while the mother pig looks on. Isn't that an astonishing thing? But yeah, usual sort of thing in this. You can walk along, you can break things and find food and points-giving things inside, and weapons. There's different ways to kill villains and what have you. At the end, you'll see it, but I could do something very silly. How I die in this game is very silly. I think I was distracted because someone was trying to call me on my phone, but no excuses. It was dumb the way I died at the end of this, but you'll see that soon. But yeah, you can see the aesthetic of Mad Max about it, and as I say, I really do enjoy this series. Number 1 is a tough play because it is vicious. But yeah, there's a lot of style to these games, and as I say, they're all very different as well. There's nothing connecting. There's no character. Well, there's some of the boss characters are sort of a connective tissue, I suppose. There's a guy who looks like the wrestler Bruiser Brody, who's in all 3, and there's a punk with an axe in the first and second one, and he's sort of in this one, I think. But yeah, this is the second boss encounter. That guy has got a lot of lumber. He's got a lot of lumber, and that ain't Big Bones, the guy I just killed. This guy's got hunchback and I think electric pronged scissors or hair straighteners or something. Giant hair straighteners. Never ever trust a man who's coming at you with giant hair straighteners. That's a top tip for everyone listening today. But yeah, I'd be fascinated to know what the connective tissue is with this, but I didn't put enough research in. Really selling my video and my channel there. But yeah, if you're wondering where the Genital Facts is, well, I'm sort of waiting until the Genital Fact thing comes in. There's the first continue used. Really annoyed with myself, as you can see, because that guy's not got much health left. And if you clear a stage, guess what? You get all your health back. So I could have been kept that credit going. Unfortunate, but this is the lay of the land, and it goes to show that I'm doing this genuinely and not cheating. Now Blanca's going to bog off with my bird. There he goes. We go to downtown. Now this wasn't converted to anything. Vendetta, not Vendetta. Well, that wasn't either. But what's this called? Violent Storm wasn't converted to anything, which is incredibly strange because you look at it and you think that's a Super Nintendo game all over, isn't it? Bright colours, big sprites. When you consider things like Final Fight 3 and things like that were coming out at the time, you could probably see it on the Mega Drive, but to me this looks like a SNES or a Neo Geo game, doesn't it? But you know, no, never converted to anything. I don't know if it's actually come out on a compilation since, like a Konami compilation. I'd be surprised if it hasn't, but I don't think it has. And in fact, I think the whole series was pretty much out of the conversation in terms of conversions had for all three. It's a strange thing because, as I say, I do remember it as a child, the first two. But as a series, it's strange that it never got converted. Konami, it wasn't converted to like the home computers or the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo. None of them came out. So it's very strange little series this, but a really good one. What else is there to tell you about this game? Well, you know what? Because I don't last too long. Basically, I'm going to tell you what the general fact is, even though we've not seen the object or person or creature that the general fact is about. Because there are pigs in this game, as you've seen, and cats, but we've covered them already. I've done birds, as you can see there. So there is in a minute, and as you can probably tell, we're in a sort of a red light district in this post-apocalyptic city, and we are about to go into a strip club. Now, so what we're going to be talking about for our genital fact of the week is the strip club, or rather strippers. I've got some statistics for you. So, strippers, and 1 in 3 strippers are in fact, as the old joke says, putting themselves through college. Most strippers are young ladies, and they are looking for a better life, and you know what? That has to be paid for. And so the strippers put themselves through this to get to a greater accomplishment. 1 out of 10 strippers is married. So yeah, never rub another man's rhubarb. So there you go, yeah. 1 in 3 strippers is married. 13% have children. So be careful what you say. That is a mother. So when you're feeling up a stripper illegally, remember it is illegal to touch a stripper. And don't do it. Morally it's wrong as well, because they're just doing their job. They don't want your greasy mitts all over them. But yeah, strippers, there's a 13% chance that could be a mum. Only 1 in 8 get health benefits from their clubs. A lot of them are seen as independent contractors. So, yeah, it's not a particularly sound business to get into in terms of the benefit packages. But it pays very well, which we'll get to now, because male strippers earn on average $500 a night, whereas female strippers on average earn $800 a night. And there behind the curtain you might just be able to see our muse, if you like. But female strippers can earn up to $7,000 on a good night. The average age of strippers is 24 years old, and 8% have been there for 20 years. Now, I'm presuming by that they don't mean the 24-year-olds. A 4-year-old stripper is perhaps not okay. I think they're talking about women started up at like 19, 20, and then went on to become strippers until their late 30s, early 40s. 1 in 5 female strippers have dated a customer, whereas 3 in 4 male strippers have dated a customer. Because men are a bit more, lusty, aren't they? Yeah. There are 9 female strippers for every 1 female stripper. Obviously, 1 is more keen because males are more lusty, aren't they? See, again, God, we're a terrible subsect, motivated by genitals. But that concludes your genital facts. I hope you now know more about strippers than you did before. I know I certainly have. Right, yeah, so what's coming up on the channel? Well, this week we have got, which is connected to what we've just been talking about, Hooters. There was a Hooters game on the PlayStation 1. That's coming out this week. It's terrible. It's really bad. It's a driving game. and there's not a lot of boobies in it, unfortunately, for fellow perverts like myself. And then next week I've got a very long video, and I'm tempted to take some time away from the channel because it is eating my life. Basically, this time I am doing a video on the best games of the year, which I do every year, but I'm going to do them as one big video for the whole of the 2010s, and I'm doing like 100 entries on it. I've been editing it for 2 weeks now, and I'm only halfway through. So yeah, it's a big undertaking, this one. I'm enjoying doing it, and this is how I succumb. I keep repeatedly trying to throw this Bruiser Brody looking fella, and I don't know why. As I said, I was a bit distracted, but the idea I was trying to do was just keep repeatedly kicking him until he died in a lock rather than throw him, but I kept forgetting. And this will be the end of my go. But that is a long go. You will see a fair few long goes today, or throughout the week. And I think that, as I say, I think Mark could get quite close to finishing this, even though there's a good percentage of the game left to do. I'm about 20% through. It's a long beat 'em up. But yes, thank you for watching us. Please, as I say, do join in with the Retro Tech group. Details will be below. And thanks for watching. Now, Kay, thanks, bye, and get off with you.